betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to NHL and UFC. BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source for every three-pointer to hat trick. BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Who that say they gonna beat them? Say who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them? Say who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them? Say who that? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in the Saturday Live. Big ups to the fam, man. A lot of things popping. Good to see you guys are doing fine, man. Some thunderstorms are rolling our way, man. We just have to bat down, man. You guys be safe in the area. And be careful moving about, man. So shout out to the fam. Big ups to you guys. I just want to talk at you guys on the broadcast today, man, to kind of go over some stuff with the black and gold as usual. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate all of the fam. We up in this thing, man. How y'all doing today? Cartel, shout out to you, fam. Good to see you. Black Major, big ups to you. OG Jerry, happy Saturday to you too, my brother. Pelicans Noel is in this thing. What's up, Desi, baby? Shout out to you. T-Rob, how you doing, sir? Quavadius, much love, my fam. Big ups to Big Velly. Jason, good to see y'all, man, in the stream as well. Mad Drummer, I see you, fam. Dadu, big ups to you. Who that to you from the UK? All right, shout out to UK in this thing, holding down the Who Dat Nation out there, man. Big ups to you guys. That's right, Pelicans Nola popping on the on the Saturday. All right, but fam, listen, do me a service. Hit the like button as you're coming in. Let's get the algorithm together. And also, there's a question. There's a poll question there for the family members. Please get your vote in. Let me know how you guys feel about the moves the Saints have made thus far. Put it in the chat. Actually, put it in the poll. Let's vote on the poll. The poll is established. Rate it. Rate the current off-season the Saints are having. It's A, B, C, or D, or lower. Very simple. You guys put your vote in, and then we'll tabulate the poll at the end of the stream and go from there. All right, big ups to everybody. What's up, Brother Byron? Shout out to you, man. Molly Mall says, Q, are we rebounding or running it back? Well, this is the thing, man. It's just, man, what can I tell y'all, bro? We've been talking at this thing for a while, and this is the idea, this is the brainchild, if you want to call it that, of one man and one man alone. This is Mickey Loomis's thing. Mickey Loomis firmly believes that the only reason the Saints failed was because of injuries. And this is how clueless, and this is why we're in such a state with his team. There don't need to be one guy making these decisions because it's just one of the most antiquated things that we've currently have. We needed more of a committee approach as opposed to this one guy making these decisions. Our two teams in New Orleans are suffering from bad decisions made by one person sitting on top of the organization. Mickey Loomis is stubborn. He's not imaginative. He is totally delusional, and he is really one of the most stupidest people in the organization. Not because he doesn't know, simply because he is incredibly ignorant, stubborn, and blind. And I was hitting that and kicking Loomis in his ass when it wasn't even fashionable to do. Now everybody's doing it. Come on, put one in the chat. I was tearing Mickey Loomis up some time ago. I've been putting y'all the game about Mickey Loomis, been hitting him and telling y'all guys the truth about this organization for some while. A lot of people just wasn't ready for it, and I get that because sometimes I could be quite blunt with the truth, and I don't know how to give it to you any one way but to be blunt with it. You know that thing about truth being sweet in the mouth but sour in the belly? But hey, I'm a gentle guy, right? At some points. But hey, man, all I can say, man, about my squad, the Saints, man, is I love my team. I just don't like how the team is currently being ran, and I don't like the leadership of this team. I don't. And what's happening is he's doing the running it back. You put it in the chat, bro. You said this is them running it back. Mickey Loomis believes that and it's just not 1 year. If you go back and listen to the man's press conferences, there's plenty of material there. You just have to have a memory and the time to look it up. Is that Mickey Loomis has been saying this for the last several years. The reason why the Saints are failing because of injuries, but does nothing to correct the injuries. Doesn't fix the injuries. Just continually, year after year, to use the injuries as an excuse to keep on banking off the Saints while raising the ticket prices. They're not lowering the ticket prices. They're not lowering the concession prices. They're giving you a failing product, and then they're raising the prices on you. Now, you tell me where that's right at. Even to the most diehard person who is totally just blitzed in their fandom and have completely turned off the intellectual process to even much analyze what they're doing, even those people have to say, man, hold on here. How are you going up with these prices and you have an inferior product here? How are you doing that? And the thing is, the Saints organization disrespects its family base constantly. I have had enough. And that's why I approach it like that. I've had enough. So I use my I ain't gonna call it a bully pulpit, but I use my soapbox and platform to continually to speak the absolute unbridled and unmitigated truth about where we are as an organization. So this is a running back attempt. That's why you see him re-up with everybody. Nobody gets released. Everybody gets a contract. It's like flipping Oprah Winfrey over here. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Oh, this is what's going on. Everybody gets a car. You get a car, you get it. That's what's going on. Now, I like Juwan Johnson. I just don't like him $10 million worth over 3 years. And the question is, do anybody out there feel like Juwan Johnson is the top 15 tight end in the business? It's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. And if it fails again, and I'm not saying it will, but once again, we don't have the consistency that we really need to build this organization in the correct way. And I don't think they have the keys continually year after year. And even if you, and I don't know how many, I'm not going to sit here and predict wins and all that. I'm just not going to do it because it's just not enough material. What's up, KT? Shout out to my brother, KT. Desi says we have to accept Mickey loses whether we like it or not. Yeah, you have to. You stuck with him. I can't go put a foot in his ass tomorrow and say, okay, Mickey Loomis is set down as the vice president. Somebody else stepping up there. If it was only that simple. But in the end, man, yeah, we stuck with the dude and his decisions. So at the end of the day, here we go again. Age said you got to keep it real. I'm a Niners fan, and I don't know what they're doing. Hey, bro, you ain't by yourself. I seen the moves the Niners making, man. The Niners is doing some stuff too, but their track record recently has been a little bit better than what I've seen from our squad, just to be honest with you. Hell, you can say that about pretty much a lot of these teams out here. So, all right. So anyway, Desi said, I don't like Juwan Johnson. We have had a good tight end since Jimmy Graham, indeed. All right, T. Rob says Juwan. He says I like Juwan, but 10 million over 3 years is horrendous. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is anybody saying he's a top 15 tight end? But that does not matter. All that matters is what the Saints are having a vision of the team. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know what they're doing in terms of what the vision is, as opposed to we're gonna run it back because injuries stopped us. What if injuries happen again? Then what do you do? Sit there in front of the Oshina banner with the Saints emblem on it, and then sit up there and says, "Well, hold on now," and people don't want to hear it. But once again, nah, I think we're gonna just keep on moving along on this thing. But anyway, shout out to y'all. Y'all hit that poll up. That's my professional opinion. My little opinion on the leadership of lack thereof. We'll be dealing with the mighty Who Dat Nation. Shout out to you guys. What's up, Bev? Shout out to Beverly. Michael, big ups to you. Good to see y'all in the chat as well. Who else we got? Yeah, before I go, I thought I seen somebody else. I think I gave T Rob a shout out. Shout out to you, T Rob. Brother Jerry, thank you for becoming a member for the last.
Say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, OG with the support. All right, anyway, fam, let's move it. I just won't talk at you for that. That's my opinion on that. Now, let's get into some of these articles as well and kind of go over it. And I wanted to get you guys honest assessment about how do you feel about what's going on in terms of free agency. Now, listen, it's storming pretty good, so if my stream goes out, just know what time it is. But listen, this is an article that was basically raised, and there go the emergency note I got. New Orleans Saints listed among the biggest losers of free agency. This is somebody talking about what the Saints got going on. The first few days of the NFL period are now done, and most of the big moves have been made, making it a perfect time to take a step back and assess what has happened to this point, hence the poll. Football Focus's analyst Mason Cameron recently put together a list of teams that he considered to be winners and losers, and from the legal tampering period, the New Orleans Saints are one of the 4 losers for how they have handled things so far. This is what he had to say. The Saints' placement on this list is largely the result of years of poor cap management. As they continually kicked the financial burden down the road through some creative restructuring, the Saints freed up marginal cap space, but once again deferred the financial consequences. All right, we back, fam. We back. I appreciate y'all for being patient, man, as we go through this. It's kind of coming down outside, so I think a strike hit by and it kind of knocked the power out for a brief second. And of course, when that happens, then everything has to reset, and that takes a period. But anyway, we back up in this thing, man. Appreciate you, man, for being here. Let's continue to get this thing going. Now, where I stopped off was talking about the writer giving us an assessment about what he felt about the Saints, how they handled the cap situation thus far, the fact that they've restructured how they've restructured and kicked the can, which is pretty much what the Saints are doing once again this year. It's another kick the can philosophy going into the future. And as the kind of preference that, let me kind of move on and kind of hit you with over the cap thing. Because remember, we do the over the cap thing. The Saints, this is currently the money the Saints have, and then we'll bounce back to it. The Saints currently have over $18.6 million in cap relief currently. Yes, they have. They have 18.6 million plus six, almost $18.7 million of cap this year. I remember last year the Saints. I mean, in the 2026 year. Let's just do that. In 2026, they had like $60 million, right? A cap relief. If you look down, now it's down to 18.6. Now the philosophy is with Mickey Loomis is quite simple. What Mickey Loomis is going to do, family, is he's simply going to rely on the fact that he's just going to kick the can for this year and 2026. This almost $70 million that your old Derek Carr in the 1 year, I doubt the Saints will cut him a check and say hasta la vista. You'll be trapped with Derek Carr for this year and next year, unless a trade is ensued and he has no relief. And remember, Derek Carr, please do not be mad at Derek Carr. Derek Carr was trying to leave. He understood the angst of the Who Dat Nation, how upset a lot of the Who Dat family members were about how Derek Carr has performed here in the city. It's not totally all Derek Carr's fault, but when you're making $150 million, Derek Carr, please understand that you won't live or rest easy in New Orleans if the team is not winning any games and not getting to the playoffs, right? Because the ultimate indicator for success in the New Orleans Saints market and the mighty Who Dat Nation period is winning the NFC South and getting a playoff berth for an opportunity to compete for a Super Bowl championship, right? That has not happened. And since he's been here, he's barely had over a 500 record since he's been the quarterback. He's been hurt both years. So that has been very disappointing to go along with the $150 million contract and all of the excuses that go along with that thing. So it has not been a good sign. And he was trying to leave, and Mickey Loomis wasn't allowing him to leave. He's holding him here. And then in 2027, when the cap relief opened, because this is 25 numbers at 18.6, this is 26 numbers, which is 18.6. That's right. It went from 60 million down to 18.6 million dollars, and it will continue to drop. If you look at the dead money, they're not showing the dead money. Let me see if they're showing it for 2025. The dead money that's owed at the bottom of the stream, you can see right here that Lattimore, Thomas, Winston, Williams, passing all over over $52.6 million in dead money. And they will show you then the dead money for the upcoming year too, once the time comes. And then we jump from 26 to 27, and you see this number is what he's looking at. So for people that's saying, what is the game? The game is to hold the team together for the next 2 years. And then in 2027, you see a significant cap relief. And then by proxy, and contracts totally run out, then this guy will then say, hey, man, we got $166.8 million in relief that we'll have in 27. That year, you'll have a total new team, right? This year should have been that mark. But instead of starting in 2025, he's delaying the rebuild while telling you they're competing and telling people that he was hiring that it's a rebuild. He's a fork-tongued devil. So now we're looking at holding the team together for the next couple of years. And then when 2027 hits, you'll see all of the significant relief that you see on screen. This is from over the cap. So anyway, just a little brief synopsis in that into the monetary situation about what we talk about when we deal with Mickey Loomis, and that some of the people from the outside are looking at it and saying, well, the kicking of the can philosophy is a poor technique that's used by shitty accountants. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is this is common practice for the New Orleans Saints organization ran under Mickey Loomis's watch. This is common practice, right? But it's just simply what it is. this is what he also says. Any evaluation of what the Saints did in the early period of free agency basically balls down to what they think of the current roster construction, which is normally much lower than what the Saints seem to think of it. Many thought that this would be the year that New Orleans would just take on dead money from the previous years and use it as a chance to reset, right? Because that's what, the common thought was. That's not at all what happened. The Saints have added talent where possible, re-signed a couple of stars that were set to leave in free agency, and once again restructured a large numbers of contracts. So we basically sign everybody back. And then, as you've seen, the Saints' focal point have been on the defensive side of the ball. We'll go through these signings momentarily. New Orleans, with new leadership in town, is planning to run it back for another season. Anyone that doesn't think they have enough talent to win will think that they have a massive mistake this offseason. Saints have always had talent. The problem is not talent. The problem is leadership. I've said that over and over again. The Saints have plenty of talent to win football games, a large amount of games, to be able to compete in the playoffs. The issue in New Orleans has never been talent. It has, since as of recent, it has not been talent. It has been leadership. It has been accountability. It's been things that he is hiring people who is lacking the ability to galvanize this team together so they can head in one direction. A true leader. That guy has failed to do that since Sean Payton has left. Then he sticks on to people too long, and he's not who you thought he was. Let's just put it to you like that. Regardless or not, it is what it is. While Loomis seemingly hasn't felt much real pressure from Gail over the last few years, why would he feel? She don't know anything. She don't know nothing. She just is blind and dumb as that Toy Story looking president they got there. So if he keep losing, no matter the circumstances, his job security gets lower and lower. No, it doesn't. He can screw up the team, he can tear it up, and nobody will punish him because she don't know shit. Dennis Lauscher don't know shit. So Mickey Loomis at the top has one of the cushiest jobs in the game. Him and David Griffin. Because you're dealing with people that literally don't know anything about what's going on the field. And they over-rely on the third person of each organization. That is literally what they're doing with the Saints, and they're doing the same thing with the Pelicans. It's uncanny. But as long as he's in office, the money keep getting pushed around, and they can try to win while they still have some talented veterans under contract. Once again, the whole thing is Mickey Loomis the philosophy of Mickey Loomis going forward is to kick the can. We already know that, right? The plan, as far as the future is concerned, if you want to call it that, is the fact that the Saints will bind you to players currently under contract, including Derek Carr, who they owe $69, almost $70 million of money to in the second year. You won't be able to get rid of that. You'll have him for next year. That's what the restructure guarantees. So with that being said, the idea is to work that same stratagem for this year and 2026, and then when 27 hit, all those contracts fall off the books, and then you get hit with a ton of dead money, a ton of all kind of stuff hits in 27, and that's what he's looking at. So this is the focus. This is the focus going forward. So we run it back, and then whatever happens, happen. All right. So anyway, and let's continue to move on because this is a brief. Let's take a look at this list right here. Shout out to Saints Wire. They did a good job putting these things together to kind of show you some of the free agent additions that the Saints have made up to this point. Adam Schefter reports Saints have reached an agreement with Kansas City Chiefs Justin Reed. We know about that. 3-year deal worth over $31.5 million. He's 28, one of the best safeties in the run defense, and should bring much needed explosive element to the secondary. He replaced Tyrann Mathieu in Kansas City, and now gets a chance to play alongside of him. Now, this guy is still in his prime, and a very interesting signing. Now, this is the biggest money signing the Saints have had, and I actually like the Justin Reed's physical ability at that safety position. I like it a lot. Now, it pushes Jordan Howden down, who took a step back. Remember, Will Harris, who got signed away, because we were looking at Will Harris guys that should have got contracts. MVS, who signed with Seattle. Will Harris, who signed away as well. We was like, those guys should get contracts. They own it. Whatever. Sometimes it happens. It doesn't happen. But what did happen is the Saints got an upgrade there. Justin Reed is an upgrade. It improves the secondary. You still have Tyrann Mathieu there along with Justin Reed. That is an upgrade in the secondary. The Saints looking at the defense, and the majority of these signings are defense-based, showing you that Staley saying, hey, man, we need to kind of make some moves here because as we change the 3-4 look, we're going to need some talent on the back end. We're going to need some brains on the back end. We're going to need some veteran playmakers there to kind of help us out. And Justin Reed is a very good safety. I like him a lot. He's in his prime. Yeah, the 3-year, $31 million deal. I think it's warranted. We'll see how it goes. But I do like Justin Reed. I think he will definitely help, and it's a severe upgrade than what we had before. Not saying Will Harris was bad, but Reed has more upside than Harris, obviously, right? But anyway, the next one was the Saints signing a longtime Philadelphia Eagles blocking tight end Jake Stahl to a 1-year deal. Now, Ian Rappaport had dropped that and dribbled it, and he also says a skilled blocker with a lot of experience working with the Saints run game coordinator TJ Pagnetti, who spent most of the last decade on Philly's coaching staff. The 27-year-old should help Kellen Moore establish the run in 2025. And if he makes the roster, simply a lot that he has some connections. The Saints made him a priority in signing. So a 1-year deal on a blocking tight end that has some versatility as so far as tight end. You can use him as fullback if you need to, that kind of thing, right? Just an overall football player. But not much to talk about that. Just a veteran tight end to kind of add to what the Saints got going on with Juwan Johnson. Obviously, there's not going to be a trade of Taysom Hill. I don't believe so. The Saints, pretty much from that perspective, the tight end unit will remain the same, right? We'll see. All right, then March the 13th, cornerback Isaac Yiadom. Shout out to the family member that mentioned that on the last stream, said, Q, what do you think about signing Isaac Yiadom back? And I said, Isaac Yiadom is, he did pretty well for us when he was here, yada, yada, yada. But I'll say maybe we can find a little somebody else. Well, guess what? The Saints tried to find somebody else, and he got signed away by the Colts. So the Saints pivoted and went to Isaac Yiadom, who spent some time with the 49ers, and he was there when Staley was there. So this guy had 49er tie and Saints ties. Guess what? Isaac Yiadom is back. A 3-year deal, just $4.86 million in guarantees, giving him opportunity to compete for a starting job in Brandon Staley's secondary. Coach Staley, Coach Yiadom with the Niners, and he appeared in 17 games, was bench in favor of his younger player at times. He turned 29 in February. Now, the thing about Isaac Yiadom that we know is Isaac Yiadom improved here. Like, he was one of those guys that we knew had the talent. He was physical. Sometimes he tends to grab on to people when he's getting beat, but his confidence grew, and he started turning, because some of these guys that get here, and they forget to locate the ball, like the wide receiver's running, and at some point after the wide receiver's running, he's going to want to turn around and look for the ball unless he has eyes in the back of his helmet. But the gift to some of these fantastic wide receivers is they don't give you that until the last second. They don't turn and locate the ball until they know the ball is there. You see what I'm saying? That's some of the slicker ones, but the unslick ones, they will kind of telegraph the fact that the ball's coming. So if you're a cornerback and you're guarding them and the wide receiver's looking for the ball, that's your cue to turn around and locate it, because that ball's on the way. It's very close. Isaac Yiadom started to do that. Now, he's physical. He's a good tackling cornerback. He has good size. His speed's okay, but, he gets in trouble every now and again. But he improved enough for people off him. A contract went away, played for the Niners, developed a little more, came back. But like the guy said, he was benched in favor of some guys with some upside. But then again, the 49ers maybe were looking to kind of have a futuristic vantage point of last year, because they had a failing year. But anyway, I'm happy for Isaac Yiadom coming back. He will definitely compete in the Saints secondary, and that kind of contract kind of lets you know that he'll probably be a guy challenging for that third cornerback position, adding depth there. Because I do like Rico Payton, but once again, Rico Payton has to prove himself, and these other cornerbacks have to prove themselves. Not name Alante Taylor or Kool-Aid McKinstry. These other guys have to prove themselves to Staley. But Rico Payton has a ton of talent, man. All right, also, the Saints brought back Will Clapp. Speaking about Saints that went elsewhere and are coming back, Will the Clapp is back. So his former Saints, he returns home, 1-year deal. He played for Kellen Moore and Brandon Nugent, plus Brandon Staley on the Los Angeles Chargers, and also spent time with the Buffalo Bills. Those ties, boy, I tell you. He's coming back now to improve depth at the guard and center position. Will Clapp was a guy, total New Orleans. He went to high school, New Orleans. What was he at? Brother Martin. I want to say he went to Brother Martin. Then he went to LSU. Then he was drafted by the Saints. Then he went to the Chargers and somewhere else, I think to the Bills or whatever, and then came back to New Orleans. So, Will Clapp is New Orleans through and through. Happy to have Will Clapp back, to be honest with you. And the reason being is because Will Clapp is a good offensive lineman. He's better than what's this? And I know I'm reaching at the bottom of the barrel, but guys like what's the other guy? Shane LePew. them kind of guys, man, I'm happy to have a guy like Will Clapp there to kind of help put it together because we need that. We need some help on the backup line. Like that entire unit there is problematic for us. So we definitely need that to improve. So Will Clapp as a veteran coming back as depth for the Saints that could play two positions, either center or guard position, gets value there. And like I said, the Saints are not making the same mistakes insofar as what they're doing. Remember last year, they didn't have a backup center. They started the season with no backup center. They're not doing that this year. They got Will Clapp back there to help out in that part. So you got to give them comeuppance for that, for having the vision to be able to at least see that. And of course, March the 14th, one of Brandon Staley's former Rams defensive linemen is joining the Saints. Jonah Williams agreed to a one-year deal. Rashid Shaheed's college teammate for the Detroit Lions last year could help Staley install his new system in New Orleans. But he spent most of his career as a backup. So Jonah Williams, 6'5", 280-pound defensive lineman. If you watch some of the tapes here, big guy that's not as fast as you like, but mean, has a good disposition, familiar with Coach Staley's 3-4 look. So these are not high signings except for Justin Reed. You know, him signing, that's a very big signing, and that's an improvement to your secondary. Isaac Yiadom is a guy, like I said, he can help. We'll see what he can do, but I still think that is a good signing too to your depth position. And the rest of these guys are just depth pieces to help improve. But the really interesting thing about the Saints is they continue to add to the defense, right? The defense has really been something that's really been interesting, how the Saints have just been looking at that, how they've been just going at the defense, right? And we've been seeing that. Now, other moves, right? We know about Nephi Sewell returning and Dante Pettis. These are practice squad guys and some special teams guys. We talked about Chase Young. Juwan Johnson's contract, 10 to 3 years at $30.75 million. He had $21.25 in guaranteed money. And basically, the Saints are turning to Juwan Johnson and saying, Juwan, hey, man, you are our guy to take us into the next several years. But, you know, the Saints really developed Juwan Johnson from ground one. He was a wide receiver from the University of Oregon, an undrafted one, who was buried in the wide receiver room his first year. They converted him the second year to a tight end. He was buried in the tight end depth room. He worked his way up to be the starter. He got the contract. Then he came back for a long-term deal. He had 50-something catches last year. He got the contract. The Saints chipped him off, $10 million a year. Now it's time for him to level up, right? And I know it's a different system, but you've been here for a couple of years. You got the quarterback, Derek Carr's here, so there's some familiarity there. So it's time to Juwan Johnson to step up to become at least a top 15 tight end in the game. I don't know. I don't have him listed as the top, you know, I don't know where you guys have him placed. He's damn sure in the top 10. But I would hope, you know, not hope because I don't want to hope on nothing, but I would prefer and desire the fact that he would get to the point where he say, I see myself as a top 10 tight end in this game, because he has the size, he has the build, the physique for it, right? We know he can catch the ball. Last year he had 50-something odd catches, but truthfully, Juwan could have had like 65 catches last year. He had a lot of drops, and I mean some easy drops, and a lot of that was concentration drops, right? That he would just drop the ball. So when you're making that kind of money, we expect you to become one of the top 10. Let's get you up there to top 10. Let's get that temperament together. You know what I'm saying? Where you can be like, I could be relied upon. I'm this, that, and the third. Let's get you up there. You need to get on that level, brother. You need to get on up on that level, because I don't have them ranked in the top 15, the tight ends in the NFL. I got them ranked outside of that, you know. And I know the 50 catches, that's 1 year, but that's steady production over time, where the Saints really banking on you. Because if I had to bet on it, and I'm not really a betting man like that, but if I had to bet on it, I would have said that Juwan Johnson the Saints would have pivoted to him and went somewhere else. They would have went somewhere else. I wouldn't have spent $30 million on Juwan Johnson. I would have went into the draft. I ain't lying. I would have went into the draft. I would have went into, because there's a ton of tight ends out there with you ain't gonna say higher ceiling than them, but they're guys that are difference makers that'll be there for the summation for a longer time frame. But Juwan Johnson, not mad at him, man. It's just time for you to level up, brother. You got the big money. It's time for you to become one of the top 10 in the game. You know, you have the ability. You got to switch that temperament. Too many easy drops from Juwan I seen last year watching these games. Of course, we know about Chase Young and all this kind of stuff. So we know about the Chase Young signing. Pettis, I like the Pettis signing as well. I thought he did a really good job from the wide receivers. Like we talk about all these other wide receivers that we seen last year, family, that we seen that played. And the one that really impressed me the most, and we had a ton of young guys like Kevin Austin Jr., Mason Tipton, Bub Means. When he played, he did a little something. And all these guys. Mason Tipton kind of fell off toward the back end. Kevin Austin Jr. was kind of in and out that thing. But Dante Pettis, who's a big wide receiver, about 6'3", something like that, has a great return background because they were using him. He was just stuck on the practice squad, and the Saints had a really good idea. Hey, man, let's use that guy. And he brought him in. They seen that he can catch the ball. He had good speed and all that kind of stuff. I hope that they turn and develop him and bring him in and make him more of, a part in the offense. You know what I'm saying? Because he has the size and the speed. He can help you there. So, we'll see what we got going on. We still need some help in the wide receiver room, as well. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed coming off of injuries. There was rumored about that the Saints were trying to get at Cooper Kupp. He ultimately decided to take a deal making, $17 million a year or 18, whatever the case may be, to go to Seattle. I'm cool with that. But it's still a lot of stuff going on in terms of what the Saints could be facing, man, going forward. So it's still sometimes we get to the second layers of free agency. There's still people out there to kind of look at and see who's available for New Orleans going forward. So who, after losing out on people that's out there, who remains out there that we need to look at? Well, let's take a look at it right here. Shout out to Saints Wire. This is all mostly Saint Wire articles. They're doing a really good job putting this stuff out there. Best available free agents for the Saints. Amari Cooper is a guy that he mentions on the list right there. He traded to Buffalo last year. I don't know what's up with Amari Cooper. Is it the contract or what's going on with him? He can't seem to find a place. It was the Cowboys, it was the Browns, it was the Bills, and he's just getting like he going on like a tour right now. I don't know if it's the contract or whatever's going on. But he may be out of New Orleans price range, 19 a year. And how old is he? They don't got his age up here, but $19 million a year, that's a lot of money to give to Cooper, from a Saints perspective, because ultimately coming soon, you're going to have to pay Chris Olave if you're going to keep him, right? So we'll see how that goes. But Stephon Diggs is another game changer there. Y'all remember him for what he did to the Saints, but they projected his salary at $13 million per year, and he's 32 years of age. Guy's a playmaker, man. He was with Buffalo and did some stuff up there. And could Stephon Diggs be somebody the Saints like as well? Then also cornerbacks. You need another cornerback there. Rasul Douglas is there. He's a big cornerback, but bringing Isaac back, I don't know if the Saints then pivot and go get another expensive cornerback. I think that probably will be the guy they look at. Anybody else will probably be an undrafted guy or, a draft pick type player. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, who thrived in Kellen Moore's offense before and could do it again. Cooper Kupp's big payday with Seattle probably raise his own asking price. The Saints need someone like him who can move the chains and box out smaller defenders. His projected salary is $11.1 million per year, will impact the 2026 comp picks formula. I don't think they care about that, but that is a good, if anything, if we look at all of the signings and the stuff that happened, you can look at some of these guys that they signed, like we just talked about, Noah Williams. His signing and a couple of these other guys getting signed, right? The interesting part is this all stuff is based on relationships. The guy played here, there, at the third. If that's the case, Keenan Allen could have a presence here. Big wide receiver, would work well with a Chris Olave and a Rashid Shaheed. Would make a lot of sense too. And he knows he worked with that's that Kellen Moore link, right? You couldn't get Cooper Kupp. It's Keenan Allen next. This is also something that's rumored about going on right now. How about some offensive line help? Big Cam Robinson. Saints don't need a left tackle. Then again, maybe they do. Not Tolly. They could use some tackle help. Maybe you shift somebody inside, not named Tolly Fuaga. Just the thought. But Robinson should be mentioned anyway, the best remaining free agents list. Anyway, he had a good year with Jacksonville, should be starting somewhere on Sundays in the fall. What if Kellen Moore agrees with some draft analysts and thinks Tolly Fuaga could be a better guard than tackle? I don't move him. I don't move Tolly. Tolly's not the one you move, but his projected salary is at $14 million, will impact the 2026 comps pick formula. Left guard, we can use one of them. We got a hole in the offensive line at the left guard position. Tevin Jenkins, injuries and position switches have been challenging for Jenkins, but he settled in at the left guard last year and could be an asset for the Saints, who don't have a start at that spot on the roster right now. But Jenkins has fielded offers from multiple teams and won't come cheap. Projected at $10.3 million per year, will impact that 2026 comp picks. Cornerback Ashanti Samuel Jr. is also mentioned. He has some familiarity with Brandon Staley from his work with the Chargers. It's another player. Cornerback Mike Hilton, one of the best slot guys in the business. But his price at the slot could be 12 plus mil per year. Left tackle Tyron Smith. Saints don't need a left guard, but how will Talley look as a rookie? I don't know about that one. Wide receiver Lockett, I think he resigned. I don't know if Tyler Lockett resigned. I think they put him in the street. Yeah, that's right. All right, Lockett was a model of consistency for a long time, but Father Time is undefeated. I don't know about the Tyler Lockett thing, 5'10", even though he's a playmaker. Kind of need a larger, bigger tight end. I mean, a wide receiver, that is, to sit opposite of Chris Olave. Would like to see that. Edge, Russia Ojolari, Chase Young, Carl Granderson, Isaiah Foskey at $7.5 million a year. That's another player. Calais Campbell. Brandon Schiff, running back J.K. Dobbins. Could the Saints need another running back? We have Elvin Kamara, who's turning 30 this year. You got Kendre Miller, who can't stay healthy. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who we love a lot, and Jordan Mims. Saints have some interesting running backs. Could J.K. Dobbins be in the fit? So this is another thing. Safety Justin Simmons. We don't need any more safeties. No to Brandon Cooks, Gilmore, Elijah Moore, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of other people. So at some point, one of these guys you see on this list more than likely probably will get signed by the Saints. So this is a few people right here, man, to take just to be on point about. But I really like the call that the writer said about wide receiver Keenan Allen. I really like that one. And if the Saints want to improve that offensive line, Cam Robinson would be a good get for them. And if you really want him, then you would have to shift him. But then again, will the Saints play $14 million a year, or just simply wait for the draft and line them up in the draft? Like right now, you can see him batting down the hatches, taking care of the defense, getting guys to trade. That brought the big fellow in from Buffalo. Gocho brought him in here. That was the first move they made because they know they had to kind of stiffen up internally and keep it moving. Let's take a look at the depth chart, unofficial depth chart. That the Saints have rolled out here, as you can see right here. Some of the moves have already been added, but not so much to even think about on the offensive side. Nothing to talk about there. The defense is where it's at. As you can see, they've already shifted the idea of the defense from what it was last year, 4-3-2-3-4 defensive there. And as you can see, they even shifted some of the guys around at the defensive positions. And as you can see, it's a very unique look. When I first seen this family, I was like, that's very interesting, right? Because people talk about all of the defensive ends. We have a bunch of defensive ends. But in the 34 defense, you can see our guys, and we talked about this on the previous streams, about how guys like Carl Granderson and Chase Young will line up in this defense, right? Carl Granderson and both Chase Young are 6'5" defensive linemen that are not your traditional defensive lineman looking guys like a Cam Jordan. It's a 6'4" guy, 280-some odd pounds. A guy like Carl Granderson and Chase Young both have the ability to adjust in a 34 defense. As you can see, they got them both lined up, one at weak side and one at strong side linebacker. The top of this, how they currently have it set was Cam Jordan, Nate Shepard, and Colin Saunders. Now, my thing is, I think Devin Gocho should, and they'll hash this out during training camp, but I think the Saints sent that 7th-round draft pick to get Devin Gocho. I think he starts at the nose tackle position. We'll see how it all ferrets out, because I don't like Nate Shepard there, but I think Devin Gocho has more dog in him than a Shepard. I think he fits better there. And then, of course, even if they like Cam Jordan on one side, I don't think Colin Saunders is the other guy. Maybe I think it's Brian Bresee. Brian Bresee will get one of those end positions. So a lot of people talked about shifting before the 34 thing wasn't even a thing. Before we even knew who our defensive coordinator was, a lot of people had thought processes about Brian Bresee playing the end position. In the 34, look, fam, listen, he will get that opportunity. Whether it's Cam on one side or whoever, but Brian Bresee will be in one of those end positions. You better believe that. And that skill set of his will work perfectly in that 34D. Now, the thing about it is he'll have to get better at gauging the run, because that's one of the weak points that people would point to him if you break down the tape on him and say, well, he has to improve in stopping the run. That's something that he has to do a better job at. But I think with Coach Bo Davis here and Brian Young being brought back, that the Saints in defensive linemen will improve. I love that. Coach Bo coming here will help those defensive linemen get it together. And of course, and as you take a look, like I said, the linebackers, the 34 look, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, Carl Granderson, Demario Davis, Pete Werner, and Chase Young are your linebackers. How y'all like that? How do y'all like that? Isn't that weird looking? We so used to the 43, but look at your 34 defense. Carl Granderson and Chase Young operating as linebackers. And inside, Pete Werner and Demario Davis. And then, of course, the secondary, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alontae Taylor. You got Justin Reed and Tyrann Matthew. So you have a very intelligent secondary, right? From a safety perspective, we got very good, intelligent safeties back there, playmakers. So the Saints did a phenomenal job of bringing in talent. And they did, like I said, they added Devin Gocho. They added Jonah Williams, another guy that can kind of move around. The Saints still have Christian Boyd, a guy they picked up in the 5th round last year out of, Northern Iowa. And they have John Ridgeway III. They gave up some picks to trade to get John Ridgeway here from the Commanders. So he's a guy, another big guy there that can help out. So he's still under contract. The only question I have for the Saints in terms of the defense, the 34 defense, is if something happened to Pete Werner, who is a guy that has injury concerns of mine. Demario Davis is getting old in his last year. Do we have guys that can come in and make plays and sustain that defense? Anthony Orji, I like Anthony Orji a lot. Jalen Ford has potential, hasn't seen enough from him. DeMarco Jackson, still a question mark. Nephi Sewell was playing well when he did play, mostly using special teams. Isaiah Stallbird has potential as well. But do we feel like these guys are it? And another thing to mark about this is the fact that Isaiah Foskey is also converted to a linebacker. Y'all see that? He's positioned behind Chase Young from the strong side linebacker. So you have Granderson, Young, and Isaiah Foskey all listed as linebacker. And like I said, these guys are all the same size. They're all the same size there, right? KT says Kevin Goshaw from Plaquemine. Yeah, that dude is awesome, bro. You LSU man. All right, anyway, thank you, KT. Appreciate you there.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
I'm finding this very interesting, fam. How about y'all? How do y'all like that look? That look is pretty interesting, man. I'm telling you no lie. That is a very interesting look when you look at our defense, man. Because, we don't see it. Like, we've been accustomed to the 43 look, but we seeing, question marks about where these guys go. The good side of it, like I said, is Granderson, Young, and Isaiah Foskey are all prototype. They all are the similar prototypes, right? They're 6'4", 6'5" guys that have athleticism to them. They're not big, plodding, old school defensive ends. They're like prototypical type guys, 6'5", 260, 270 guys with athletic ability. You can move around if you have imagination. I want to see how this works. I want to see Staley turn Carl Granderson and Chase Young into linebackers. And Isaiah Foskey running along with him. So, hey, man, I want to see how this goes. And this right here has my attention. I'm like, okay, y'all know I'm a defensive guy. I'm like, okay, I'm liking what I see there. So we'll see how it all works, man, going in the end, man. But the defense, man, they done added some help there. They added a safety. They added a cornerback. They added a defensive tackle. They added another defensive lineman there. So the Saints building it up, and not so much on the offensive side. We haven't seen the type of signings that we've seen from the defensive side. Perhaps that's something that coming in the second wave of free agency. Perhaps it's something the Saints are then focused on the draft with. But we still have holes here to fill for the Saints in terms of the wide receiver room. We can need, depending, and the thing is, the most people that you sign coming into the season, the better chances you can do the draft the best player available stratagem, right? Because the tight end thing is now, okay, the Saints signed 2 tight ends. They re-signed Juwan Johnson and got Stahl from the Eagles. So he's there. They're obviously keeping Taysom Hill. There is no trading of Taysom Hill. Foster Monroe should be fine. Both those guys should be healthy and competing once time gets. We'll see what Taysom Hill is in his development. But those guys are seen as guys that should come back. So if that is indeed the case, you're not looking at the tight end position with the first round pick. Maybe not even a second round pick if that is indeed the issue. See, things shift when free agency hit. Then what would be your philosophy for my drafters out there going into it? The best player available. Things shift. The software shift that they're doing the mock draft simulations for, because as free agency kicks in, everything shifts and changes. And guys that you've seen that were up there, they begin to slide down to you. And some of these guys that were sliding down to you now would be guys that wouldn't have been there, that wasn't there before. So that is the thing. So at some point, I anticipate the Saints take quarterback, maybe not with the first or second pick, maybe with the second pick, we'll see. But with the first pick, you're kind of looking at needs. Saints still need some help. They need a left guard unless they pick up somebody. We know that, what's his name, was signed. Becton. Becky Becton, he was signed by somebody. So that was a guy that I thought the Saints would have been looking at to sign. He got signed by somebody. So, like I said, we still have some time between now and the draft, and I still accept the Saints to have several players within their periphery. Like we said, Cooper Kupp was a guy the Saints was rumored to be looking at. He's no longer there. Rumor mill is Keenan Allen's a guy Saints could pivot to. You know, this is still all speculative, but, you know, some of this stuff has some steam to it. All right, KT, thank you, bro. Says Bo Davis is cool. However, here you go. All right, Bo Davis is cool. However, he isn't a miracle worker. Hold on, KT. He says not a miracle worker banned all, but he says isn't a miracle worker banned. All but Chase Young is 4'3". He just doesn't fit. And so see Jadeveon Clowney, all the physical dudes, no production. Damn, bro, you go equate Chase Young to Jadeveon Clowney.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Oh man, well, hold on though, KT. He was Jadeveon Clowney had a couple of years when he was actually doing this thing. But hold on, let me pull him up, bro, because KT threw out that Jadeveon Clowney card, man. Hold on. He done said that several times, man. Hold on, bro. Let me pull the guy up, man, and check his resume. KT don't like him. All right, hold on, man. Hold on. Okay, let me check his stuff. Because Jadeveon Clowney has some pretty decent years, man. Him coming, hold on, let me pull up his jacket right quick and see what because he had 5.5 sacks last year. He pretty much did what Carl Granderson and Chase Young did at 32 last year with the Panthers. He had 5.5 sacks. And remember, they signed Jadeveon Clowney after they pushed away Chase Young, so they got pretty much the same production as far as the sacks are concerned, right? He is right here, as you can see. 24 tackles, 5.5 sacks. That's what Chase Young gave the Saints last year. Same amount of sacks, right? Let's take a look at his stats here over the years. Now, we know Jadeveon Clowney, you know, he was that first overall pick, South Carolina. Damn, it's been a long time ago, right? You look at his sack production. It's 58 sacks over how many years he been in the league? About 13 years in the league. Damn, has it been that long? You got 58 sacks in 13 years, man. His best years was in 2017. He had in 2023, he had 9.5 sacks for Baltimore. He had 9 sacks for Cleveland. So yeah, when he's not, and it coincides with his health, right? He had his first year, no sacks as he played 4 games, right? He was hurt. Second year, 13 games, he had 4.5 sacks. 2016, 14 games, 6 sacks. 16 games the next year, 9.5 sacks. In 2018, he had 9 sacks. So he had a 9.5 sack year, then 9 sacks after that. Then he left Houston to go to Seattle for a year. He played in 13 games, gave him 3 sacks. Tennessee, he had 8 games, 0 sacks. Then he went to Cleveland in 21. He had 9 sacks, but he played 14 games in that first Cleveland year, 12 the next year with 2 sacks. And then he went to Baltimore in 2023, right in his 30s, and gave him 9.5 sacks. Then he leaves Baltimore after a year in which he played 17 games, 43 sacks. Then he went to Carolina in 14 games, had 46 tackles with 5.5 sacks. So altogether, through the 13 odd years, whatever the case may be, the man has 58 sacks over that time frame. Now, like I said, it wasn't exact because the knock on Jadeveon Clowney was the fact that he couldn't stay healthy. It's similar. They saying that's the similarities I could see. You looking at the prototype or the size and all this kind of stuff of guys like Jadeveon Clowney and Chase Young, being that they were guys that were drafted very high but didn't live up to expectation. But I'm not going to put that on Chase Young. I'm not going to put that on Chase Young, brother. I can't do it, but thank you, KT. Appreciate it, bro. All right, KT, man. He said he said Bo Davis ain't a miracle worker. He don't have to be. Listen. You don't have to be a miracle worker. But I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what, Bo Davis is gonna get them guys together. He gonna help Brian Bresee take that next step. I promise you that. I know you can let the church say amen on that. You're gonna see a change on that. Let the church say amen. Brian Bresee and guys like that, you're gonna see improvement from them because that's what he does. He knows how to communicate with those players. All right. So Jonathan, shout out to Jonathan, says, so do you think they're going to draft someone to back Kool-Aid McKinstry? Well, you have a guy like Isaac Yiadom, but Isaac is 29. When is Isaac making his birthday here? Let me pull that up, fam. Give me a second. Yeah, he's 29 right now. He just made his birthday in February the 20th. So he just turned 29. So the Saints gave him a 3-year deal, right? With a 29-year-old cornerback. But the interesting part, I do like Isaac Yiadom, but he's not a future guy. At some point, you want the Saints to still take a cornerback. We still could use some help there. Sometimes, fam, you know how I go in the secondary. Them guys get hurt, and then next thing you know, we just need help all over the place. We look deep one moment, you lose one guy, then everybody sliding up, and then next thing you know, it's calamity. So you want to have an extra. I definitely say you need another cornerback. I don't know if you take the guy early or. I could see maybe a 3rd-day pick. You can get them because they got a bunch of good ones out there, man. They got a bunch of good ones in this draft in terms of the cornerback. But taking the cornerback is always a good thing. LM says Becton played on the right side. I wonder if he was a factor for passing on him. I don't know. I think it could be that, but perhaps money. Bird Talk, shout out to you, fam, too. That's how the Saints lost out to Travarius Ward. That's how they lost out to Cooper Kupp. That's how they lost out with those two guys, with the fact that the money and what they were willing to do. And like I said, right now, the Saints sitting over $18 million right now. He never had. Yeah, I just showed it. I had to pull up his resume, KT. But yeah, he definitely, what's up, Larry? Shout out to you, brother. Yeah, he's the whole thing about the cornerback situation. I'm definitely for that. Saints got a ton of picks. Let's move on into that matter of fact, man, when we talk about the draft picks. Saints awarded 7th-round compensatory draft pick. Shout out to Yard Barker. They're showing that the New Orleans Saints will be receiving a compensatory draft pick. After all, Saints have been awarded a 7th-round compensatory pick. According to Tom Pelissero, Saints originally left off the list of the NFL's awarded compensatory picks ahead of the 25 draft before a recalculation was done. After the adjustment, the Saints are acquiring the number 254th pick. So the Saints now have 2 7th-round picks. And of course, when you have this picks, you don't expect the Saints to draft all of these guys. At some point, you would anticipate them putting picks together to jump up in the draft to go get other players. I don't expect them to draft every one of these picks. But then again, with $18 million and the fact that the Saints are going to try to add a few more people, like try to get another starter too. Like they have free agents out there they can get. They can get another veteran wide receiver that can help. They get another veteran offensive lineman that can help. We still need some backups. We don't want to have too many rookies as backups on our offensive line. Our defense is coming together pretty decently with all the acquisitions the Saints have made. Perhaps this is a shift in a focus to getting some stuff done offensively speaking now for the second layer and going into the draft process. So, and this is what they have here in terms of the Saints pick for this year. So there you go. Saints, the 9th pick overall in the first round. You got round 2 picks 40, round 3 picks 71, 2 third-round picks, 71 and 93 they got from Washington. Of course, you had, that was tied to the Lattimore deal. Both of those. So you look at round 4, 1 pick, 112. Round 4, 131 via Washington. Then you have a 6th round pick, 184, and 2 7th-round picks, 248 and 254. So 1 first-round pick, 1 second-round pick, 2 third-round picks, 71 and 93, 2 fourth-round picks, 112 and 131, no 5th-round picks, 1 6th-round pick, 184, and 2 7th-round picks, 248 and 254. Saints got a lot of picks. Got a lot of picks going on. So in the end, what do we do with all them good picks? We probably going to move around a little bit. We'll see what the philosophy is. But like I said, you do as much as you can do in free agency, and then you pick the best player available in the draft. But my philosophy is our line still needs very much attention. All right, Colorado. Amen. All right. Randy, what's up, brother? How you doing, sir? Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all hit the like button for your boy. All right. All right. Yeah, Jonathan says needing a number 1 wide receiver, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed are still 2 and 3. I agree with that. Fam. I agree wholeheartedly with you. I like Chris Olave. I just don't view him as a 1. He is. I think he's a good complement player. Like if things get drastic and you lose your guy, he can shift to that 1 position and do his thing. But comfortably, I see him as a 2. And you need to get a big physical wide receiver to go with him. And we keep Rashid Shaheed at 3. Let Rashid go at that 3rd cornerback. Let him test that 3rd cornerback. And most of the time he tears him up. He was tearing up the 2nd guy. He was beating other guys' breaks off at, when he was at the 2 spot. But having those guys properly slotted, having a number 1 there, a number 2 in Chris Olave, and a 3 in Rashid Shaheed is phenomenal. We got those guys. We just need to add to it and keep it moving. Now we know what our tight end situation is going to be. We know what the quarterback situation is going to be. Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is here. Jordan Mims is also another guy we don't make mention of as well. So you're starting to see it take shape, you know what I'm saying? And you're starting to see what's next. And we'll see how it all ends, man. Okay, the Chargers got him. All right, thank you, bro. LM said the Chargers got Becton. All right, so there you go. All right, yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, maybe. What's up, Daniel? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you for being in the stream as well. Much love, fam. But yeah, once again, man, fam, that is pretty much what I got. I'm going to kind of move on from that to, and this is what Cat Terrell did. It's pretty much what we covered before the offseason moves. The Cat put a spin on it with everybody we talked about earlier in the stream here. And the add-ons and the players and whatnot. So all I can say is, man, I'm very interested to see what the Saints defense is going to look like. Because I was looking at that depth chart, man, and the 34 look, and they got Granderson and Chase Young at linebackers. And I know KT doesn't like it. I don't think KT has the same. KT, answer this. I don't think you have the same apprehension for Carl Granderson that you have for Chase Young. So those guys are slotted to play linebackers in the system, which is very interesting. And I just find that all kind of ways fascinating. And I just want to see how it looks. Because remember, there was a time, and if we think about the Dome Patrol, because really we're set it in our minds like, okay, we remember playing a 3-4, but when it was good. But did you remember it when it was bad? Do you remember when it was bad? Y'all remember when it was bad? Let me see if y'all remember the last time we played the 34 defense. We had a guy here running the 34 defense. We had a dude here running the 34 defense. I'm not saying that's not going to happen for the Saints this year, but I'm just saying we had a guy running the 34 defense. He had Will Smith, rest in power. He was playing linebacker. He had another. What's the guy name who was we drafted him? Man, I forgot the man name. But he was a defensive lineman we drafted in the second round. No. Hold on, yeah. No, it was before Dennis Allen came here. It was the Ryan brother. Y'all remember that? He was running. He had a 34 defense that he was running. He turned Will Smith. That was like, what are they doing? That's when they had Hakeem. Was it Hicks? Hakeem Hicks. He was playing defensive end, and they used to the reporters would make fun of it and say he's the biggest defensive end in the league. They had him playing defensive end. They had Will Smith at outside linebacker. Oh yeah, they had it. We all was like, what? What is this? It was just all kind of calamity. Y'all remember that, huh? No, it wasn't Gillette. It was man, what's his name? He was a Hawaiian fella. He was from Hawaii. What was his name, man? He played for the University of Washington. I'm about to tell y'all. I'm gonna give you the biggest hint. He played for the University of Washington. He had he led college in sacks the year the Saints drafted him out of the second round. One of my great Saint think tank family members. It wasn't Junior Gillette. What was his name, man? Y'all got this answer for me. He was drafted in the second round. He led college in sacks the year we drafted. That's right. Kakaha. Haloi Kakaha. Do y'all remember that name? See, I knew y'all was going to get it. Let me give y'all a round of applause, man. Y'all so smart. Come on. Y'all so smart. See, that's why I rely on y'all, man, because I'll be forgetting stuff. There's a lot of stuff rolling around up here. Alohi Kakaha. How many people remember that name, right? Alohi Kakaha. He led college in sacks that year from the University of Washington. The Saints drafted him in the second round. And the original thought process was, Kakaha would be a defensive end that would rush that work on the defensive line. But nope, the Saints then changed him to an outside linebacker. And never mind the fact that he never did it before, and he struggled mightily. So it was all this kind of thing going on. Also, y'all remember, what was my guy named from Clemson? Stephon Anthony. Y'all remember the Saints did a 34 with Stephon Anthony was there? Remember, I mean, he was doing, they did the 43 and then they shifted to a 3-4 look. I think, was it the 40? Yeah, because I think he was operating when Stephon Anthony's rookie year, when he was tearing it up. The Saints drafted him out of Clemson. I think that's the year they won a championship, by the way. And Stephon Anthony, he tied Ricky Jackson's rookie tackle record. That's how good he was. And then the Saints shifted the defense to something else, and then it all went out it all went out the window. Because he was like, this guy was playing. Y'all remember Stephon Anthony's first year? Go back and look it up. He was tearing it up. He was doing, that guy tied Ricky Jackson's rookie tackle record. He did that. And then the next year, it all changed because the philosophy changed and they just kind of threw everything. I don't know what they was doing. But yeah, we did something like that and it didn't work too well. So we'll see what Staley got, because like I said, I'm very intrigued about how this looks, man. I'm very intrigued about how this looks. If you look at this and say, you got Cam at defensive end, Shepard there, I know that'll change. And I think Brian Bresee gets one of those other end positions. But Carl Granderson, Demario Davis, Pete Werner, and Chase Young are all linebackers. I'm just like, what? We're going to see how this goes, fam. But it's not like these guys don't have the athleticism to do it, but I just want to see how this is going to work. Because with a 34 defense, the guys up front got to be all about that business. For real. So we'll see, man. I don't know. I'm very intrigued by that. All right, what's up, Dr. Gray? How you doing, sir? He says he was a sack monster in college and fizzled. Yeah, he was it's one of them things where you draft guys, right? And I often talk about this. You draft guys and then bring them on your team, and then the guys, they don't, they don't work the way you've seen them in college. And the philosophy is, what are you doing there? Like in terms of the coaching and the vision for the player. We've seen it with Zach Bond. Zach Bond is a terrific representation of that. Not so much even with Trey Hendrickson. Like we knew Trey Hendrickson was good, but the point that was Trey Hendrickson was he did not prove to us that he could stay healthy. And the only time that Trey Hendrickson stayed healthy was his last year, which was a contract year. And we just like, oh, we know Trey had it because when from college, we seen it in practice. The guy just could not stay healthy. And about time his final year came along, the Saints had already drafted Davenport to replace him. And he tore up the year. He had a great year that last year with the Saints and went on to do all that fantastic stuff with Cincinnati. But he did not do that here consistently, But but when you cross back over to what, when you talk about other players, like what I talk about the Zach Bond thing, was the Saints knew he was talented. They just did not have the vision to add him successfully in any of these defensive schemes and make it worthwhile. And he goes to Philly. He helps Philly win a championship, and he gets broken off a massive contract. You're like, how did the Saints let this guy get away? No vision. That's why I said about, fam, listen, people, these teams, these players have talent. These guys have talent. The issue is you can draft the guy with all this talent, but you draft and the scouts draft and say, hey, man, we got this guy who can do this. But when you bring him in here, the other part of the process is the Saints coaching staff has to have an imagination and an idea of what to do with this player and how to implement him into the system. And one is the ascertaining or bringing in the asset. The other one is to utilize it. The Saints don't do that. They hadn't done that with some of these people. Then they go elsewhere, they blow up and they do all this stuff. And like, how the hell did they do that? They had the talent the whole damn time. Remember 2 years ago, what was it, 2 or maybe 3 years ago? I did a story about Zach Bond. He was training with the Watts, with TJ and JJ Watt. He was training with them in Texas. He's cool with them, and he was doing all this kind of stuff, and they was bragging on him then. So the dude, we knew who he was, is the fact that they just did not have a vision to get that man into the proper system so he can express what he can do for you. Philly did. And that happens. That does happen when you have to have a vision for these players. Because if as grander or as clear as the vision is, the faster we can get them acclimated to the team. Because when you're drafting these players, man, they're on the clock. Like, it's Isaiah Foskey's 3rd year. He hadn't done shit for the Saints in 2 years. This is his 3rd year since the Saints drafted him in the 2nd round. Starting his 3rd. His 2 years in, this will be his 3rd year coming up. This year, next year, and then he's ready for a contract. So it's the same with Penning. Like, he took Penning, and Penning played 1 game in his 1st year, 6 games in the 2nd year when he bombed out. You threw him at a position that he wasn't ready for, and I was saying it the whole time. And then last year he played everything. But he's still behind on where he needs to be because he didn't get the playing time in years 1 and years 2. You see what I'm saying? Vision. Putting him at left tackle was a terrible experience. It almost destroyed him. He almost didn't make it back from that. That was poor on the Saints. And they do stuff like that from time to time. It's what it is. So you got to have a vision for these guys. No doubt about it. And a lot of times they simply don't. I just see it. All right, here go KT with it's a toughie right here. Hold on now, toughie. KT says Will Johnson, Jahdae Barron. Damn, Jahdae Barron, he won the award for the best cornerback. But you got to go with Will Johnson, man. Will Johnson is the guy. He got the size, the speed, and all that there. And Jahdae is awesome, man. But I'm gonna go with Will Johnson on that. KT, thank you.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to
I'm
this
not mad
world.
at Barron, bro, but I'm just gonna go with Will. Will is the guy, bro. You know it and I know it. You know, if he, you know, like I said, the Saints, you got Alante Taylor. Alante Taylor's contract is coming up here soon. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry there. You can never have too many of these really good cornerbacks unless you address inside out. If you have your defensive line and your offensive line together, and you need a big physical cornerback with the kind of play ball skills that guy have, man, come on. Dude, that's plug and play right there. Right? And when Tyrann Mathieu get up out of here, you could probably shift Alante to safety or something next to you. I mean, you see what I'm saying? When you have a good player like that, you try to figure out ways. Let me just move this guy. Hold on there. Listen, I'm going to move you out the way. I'm going to put you over here. But hey, Will, come over here. Hey, yeah. You start figuring out places to put the guy right. Hold on. Hey, oh, Will, we're going to put you over here, baby. Alante, hold on. We're going to slide you back over here. Remember, originally you was picked to you replaced Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You remember that, right? Yeah. We're gonna slide you there. Don't worry now. We're gonna take care of you. But yeah, when you got good players like that, man, you think you be moving people around. 50 Cole says, Q, when is the last time we actually drafted a good defensive end in the first round? Probably Cam, huh? Damn, bro, you're probably right. In the first round, the last ones we took that I gotta say any worth. I don't want to disrespect a Marcus Davenport or a Peyton Turner, but the Saints called themselves drafting Peyton Turner because they said they reminded him of Marcus Davenport. Well, guess what? You got to be careful of what you say, because Marcus Davenport was a bust and Peyton Turner was a bust. The Cowboys got him now. So, I mean, in the end, you're right. It is Cam. The last first-round draft pick defensive end we've had is Cam. Dr. Gray says that made sense, but lost the defensive coordinator side of Dennis Allen. Defense fell apart. Have 2 games removed from the firing of Dennis Allen. I think Dennis Allen's acumen as a defensive line coach fits well for what he does, but he doesn't have the makeup as a head coach. He does a lot of shifty stuff. He doesn't find any problems with his off-code behavior. He preached accountability last year, even though he lacked it. In preaching it, you have to walk the walk, talk the talk. Dennis Allen could not sustain that. None of those guys could. The Clint Kubiaks and all these clowns, they got here and they talked about accountability. They could not keep accountability in the building. You cannot win. I repeat, you cannot win without accountability. You cannot sustain anything worthwhile without accountability. Dennis Allen had y'all heard the interview of him saying, I didn't fail. And the way I see it is, I didn't fail. They just didn't want me anymore. And I'm like, nope, no. You failed. You failed miserably. You failed horribly. And the reason why they didn't want you no more is because you lost your team. You backstabbed them several times. You're a fumbler, a bumbler, and you're incredibly off code, and they threw you out of the building. They basically packed your shit and aimed you, put you in the cannon, and fired you over the levee somewhere. And then it's just what it is. But that's a guy with no accountability. You don't put guys like that over no team. How you don't know that man didn't have accountability? You had him there for 10 years, and you mean to tell me he's a good coach? No, we ain't talking. We talking about head coach here and leaders of men. And not everybody has that. That's why I just don't like it. These guys suffer. And then once again, it is not a talent issue with the Saints. Now, we do have holes in the team that we need to fix in terms of adding people there, like the left guard position, backup offensive line. You could really still use some help on the defensive line from a pressure standpoint. Are the linebackers you currently have, outside of the ones that are listed as starters according to the 34 unofficial depth chart, the backup guys, are they good enough to fill in if some of these other guys got hurt? See, this is the question. And then your secondary. You have Reed here with Tyrann. I love that. You bring in Isaac Yiadom. We know who he is. Are you good there? You still need some help there. You see what I'm saying? Wide receiver, you still need some help there. If Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed go down, are you ready to deal with Bub Means, Pettis, Tipton, Cedric Wilson Jr.? No, you need help there. And of course, once again, for the third year, you're going to see Kellen Moore, the head coach of New Orleans Saints, get him a quarterback. I anticipate probably somewhere in the second round. I would not be surprised that it'll be Jackson Dart somewhere in the second round if he's not going in the first round. Or perhaps later on in the draft, maybe in day 2, it'd be one of these guys like the kid from Texas or perhaps the guy from Syracuse, who I really like, who led college in passing yards last year, and he had several other stats as well in McCord. So it's some other stuff going on, but like I said, it's still very early on, and the Saints could do themselves a tremendous service by finding a veteran left guard, if that's possible, and maybe another wide receiver. But anything is wide open in terms of how you headed in this time frame, because we'll see how they move, man. It's still a lot of time. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going, man. Byron, shout out to Byron, says draft wide receiver, cornerback, offensive wide receiver, cornerback, OT, defensive line, and running back. Indeed. Alex says Ted McMillan or Gene. I'll go with McMillan. Anybody you want to place there is McMillan over, my brother. Thank you for the question. It's McMillan all the way. All right. Yeah. Desi says, all disrespect. Davenport did do nothing. Says, Q, hold on. Hold on, Q. Hold on. I'm going to disrespect him. Yeah, he ain't do nothing. And you might as well put Peyton Turner there too, sweetheart, because he ain't do nothing either. So I'm with you on that. That's right. That's right. Greg, what's up, sir? Says Q. What about Siobhan Ravel from East Carolina could be a good value pick in later rounds. He says day 2 or 3 if still available. Yeah, me and KT, we talked about that. I'm not against. There's several really good ones, man. We started talking about the draft, man. Man, it's a bunch of really good ones there, man. Like I keep telling people over and over again, there are running backs aplenty, there are tight ends aplenty, there are offensive linemen aplenty, there are linebackers aplenty. The DBs are off the chain. It depends on what you're looking for as far as these as a in terms of a player, what you're looking for. Because some of them guys, it's a bunch of people. Like we just talked about Will Johnson and Jahdae Barron. But Siobhan Revel Jr. is another one. What's the kid? Trey Amos, like him. It's quite a few. Darian Porter. Man, there's so many of them, man. There's so many of them to talk about. Zay Alexander. He was another dude from the LSU Tigers that has good size, speed. He's another terrific player. So, I mean, it's a bunch of them out there. It depends on what you're looking for. But they got like I said, it's a bunch of really good safeties. It's a bunch of Benjamin Morrison. He's another dude they talked about. The kid from Florida State is another going. It's a bunch of them. The kid from, what's his name? Strong from Tech. So, I mean, it's a bunch of these guys out here, man. It depends on what you're looking for. But him in what you're saying in day 2 or second, or no, he's saying second round or third round. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, he definitely got the size to play the position. I mean, we'll see, man, how it all looks, man. But yeah, a 6'3" cornerback that's almost 200 pounds, that has speed and he's lengthy. And if you run a decent 40 time, man, that puts that guy up there, because most of these people be looking for big cornerbacks with speed that can cover these big wide receivers. And he's a guy that showed that he knows how to use his length. He has decent speed. He can tackle, and he's good at 50-50 balls. So, I mean, yeah, that would definitely be interesting. Somebody would see him. All right, Jonathan says, what's going on, Q? I have a question. Have the Saints had any player that they drafted that played out of position from what they were in college have any success at the position they're playing? And so, all right, shout out to you, first of all, Jonathan. Thanks for the question. He says, did the Saints have any player they drafted that played out of position from what they were in college? Yeah, they had players that played out of position. Yeah, one that comes to my mind right away is Andrews Pete. Andrews Pete was a guy the Saints had drafted. Andrews Pete was a left tackle from Stanford, but the Saints still had Teron Armstead and Ryan Repchek. That was the bookends. Paul, what a group of tackles we had. They had Teron, and then they had Ryan Ramczyk. And they drafted Andrews Pete, and I guess Pete was seeing, Sean Payton seeing Pete as a guy that would be the future of the position once Teron Armstead, left. And the thought process was to then, once Teron leaves, when his contract was up, then you shift Ryan Ramczyk to the blindside tackle position, and Andrews will pick up at the right tackle position. That was the thought process. But instead, when Teron Armstead left to go to Miami, the Dolphins, they didn't shift Ryan Ramczyk to the left tackle position. They left him there. And the reason why, later on, we found out that they didn't want to expose him because they were hiding the fact how hurt he was. Like, they didn't want to put him on the blind side. I'm like, why are they keeping that guy there? But you surely started to get the information later on as they didn't want to expose him, put him on the blind side position because he was having those low extremity injuries. So that's what happened. But Andrews was coming in, and he was originally supposed to play the left tackle position. Then they shifted him to guard. And Sean Payton would then play him when Teron Armstead got hurt, and Teron got hurt a lot on the back end of his career. So he would play the blindside position. He was the guy that would then shift to the blindside, the left tackle position when Teron Armstead was hurt. And when he wasn't hurt, he would play the left guard position. Then they would shift him to the right guard position. Sean Payton had that, man. He played left tackle, left guard, and right guard during his time. He never played guard at any position in college. Never played it, but he learned it here in New Orleans. And Sean, like when he first came, he was out of weight. He was, out of weight. He was out of shape. And Sean Payton, that pissed Sean Payton off. When he came, he reported late to camp because he was still tied up to stuff at school, at college. Then when he reported to Saints camp, he was out of shape. And Sean Payton was mad about that. He was pissed off about that. So he right away got into Sean Payton's doghouse. And then Sean Payton just would move him here, play left tackle, play right tackle, play left guard, play right guard. And guess what? He had 3 Pro Bowl nods at the guard position. That's Andrews Pete. Now, they had other guys they moved, like Cesar Ruiz, who I'm not going to commend him on because Cesar Ruiz should be the best player on the offensive line we have. He should be. But he is not, and not even close to that because he didn't have it. He gets beat all the time. But, yeah, Andrews Pete was a guy that I can think of in recent memory that we drafted in the draft, and he had success at a position that the Saints cross-trained him to play, and he had multiple Pro Bowl, like 3 Pro Bowl nods playing the guard position. So that's the answer to that question. Thank you for that, bro. Jason says, Q, do you do the Rev talking to Mickey? It's been a while. Do the Rev talking. Oh, man. I don't know if I'm in the spirit to do the Rev right now, brother. I'm going to try, bro. You asked me so nicely, brother Jason. I might have to go ahead on and do that, baby. Yeah, hold on, baby. Oh, wait, man. Baby, listen. I have to set the scene first and foremost, right? Mickey Loomis is in his office, right? This is just being creative, right? I'm about to set the scene. This is all I'm bringing this all up out of my mind. Y'all know how I am. All right. Reverend Saint gets into the facility. He's walking up to Mickey Loomis's office. Mickey, of course, always has the door closed because he don't talk to anybody. So Mickey's in his office. Reverend Saint is knocking on the door. All right. So here we go. Hold on now. Who's that? Who's out there? What's going on? I told that secretary. Hold on. I am not to be disturbed. Hold on, baby. Hold on, baby. Baby, I came a long way, baby. Baby, hold on. You gonna answer this goddamn door, baby. I'm here to talk to you. Oh, hold on now. That sounds like Reverend Saint. And so Mickey goes up there, opens the door, let Reverend Saint in. Mickey goes back, sit down. Reverend Saint sits down in the chair outside Mickey's desk. Now, hold on, man. He said, well, hold on, Reverend Saint. I've heard a lot about you. We've had this conversation before. Hold on now. What can I do for you? Well, hold on, Mickey. Let me tell you something, baby. Baby, let me tell you. Listen, baby, I'm upset. Oh, hold on now. Hold on. What are you mad about, Reverend Saint? What's going on? Baby, I'm upset. Baby, I'm upset because baby, what are we doing? Baby, what is all this? What's going on, baby? What are we doing here? Baby, we were supposed to be rebuilding, baby. Baby, what's going on here, baby? Baby, I don't know what's going on. Hold on there, Ray. Hold on, slow down there. I'll explain everything. I'll explain it all to you. Hold on now. Hold on now. We're gonna reach. We're bringing everybody back. Yeah, hold on now. Injuries was the reason why we failed, and I'm bringing everybody back, and we're gonna do it all over again. Baby, that's stupid, baby. Baby, you a dummy, baby. Hold on now. Hold on, Reverend Saint. Hold on now. You don't sound like any reverend I know. Hold on now. Hold on now. Reverends don't call anybody stupid. You know, I've never even heard a reverend call the devil stupid. Hold on now. You can't talk to me like, hold on, baby. Baby, let me tell you something, baby. Baby, you a fool, baby. And I'm going to tell you why, baby. Baby, that's stupid, baby. Baby, we all the New Orleans Saints, baby. Baby, I ain't been talking for a while, baby. Baby, listen. At first, baby, listen. I had to talk to God before I came in here, baby. Baby, let me tell you something, baby. I have a cigar box, baby, in my car. Baby, in my trunk, I got a cigar box, baby. Baby, I got a 22 in there, baby, with silver bullets in there, baby. Baby, I thought you was a vampire, baby. I was coming here to talk to you, baby. Hold on now, Reverend Saint. Hold on now. Hold on. You can't have that on this facility. Hold on. I'm going to have to get these guys to throw you out of here. Yeah, hold on now. Well, this, baby, let me tell you something, baby. Baby, if I wanted you gone, baby, you be gone right now, baby. Baby, I came here to give you a message, baby. Hold on. What's the message? And as Mickey nervously looks at Reverend Saint, I got a whole damn soap opera going on here. Baby, listen, let me tell you something, baby. The next time, baby, you want to talk about doing something with the New Orleans Saints, baby, and you talking about running it back, baby, as opposed to rebuilding, baby. Baby, listen, I'm going to tell you something, baby. Just don't come around Rouse's, baby, where I'm at. Baby, don't come where I'm at, baby. Don't, baby, I'm just telling you off the T.O.P., baby. Don't come around where I'm at. Hold on, Reverend Saint. I don't, hold on. I appreciate you warning me about that, but I don't shop at Rouse's anymore. I get all my groceries delivered. Oh, yeah. Last time I went to the grocery store, goddamn guy kicked my basket over. I had eggs and muffins and oysters and every damn thing, and that guy just flipped it over. Well, baby, that probably was my cousin KT, baby, because he's sick of you, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. All right, baby, that's the end. That's the end of that. That's the end of my little drama there. All right, Jason. All right, Jason, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that, brother, because I would have done that shit for 30 more minutes. All right, Saints Pales Chopper. What's up, Kai? I said, what's good, QSBN? Do you see the Saints signing a veteran wide receiver? Also, do you see us drafting McMillan with the 9th pick? Yes, on the McMillan pick. If he's there, the Saints definitely going to take him. And we talked about it earlier in the stream. Maybe perhaps Keenan Allen, the wide receiver that, we have some that Kellen Moore had some familiarity with when he was offensive coordinator with the Chargers. It just seems like the tight end signing of Jack Stoll, who he was familiar with Philadelphia, Isaac Yiadom, who we are familiar with, but also Coach Staley coached him in San Fran, and they're familiar with him there. So, and then even Will Clapp, he was around. He was with the Chargers when a lot of these guys that some of these backup guys that we bringing in, most of these guys are guys that the coaching staff is familiar with. So why Keenan Allen can't be that guy? The only question is how much money would it cost? But he would definitely be an upgrade at that position because remember the Saints signed Cedric Wilson Jr. to be the complement to Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. And how did that work out for you? So Keenan Allen, to me, MVS was the guy, but the Saints, for whatever reason, allowed MVS to go to Seattle, which I was like, why not? Get MVS, because he would have been perfect. MVS would have been perfect. But since we don't have MVS anymore, he's gone. Keenan Allen would be a guy that I think would work well. Like I said, some familiar. Kellen Moore had him in his offensive charge. $11 million a year is what they estimate potential contract as. Saints right now have $18 million. We don't even count that because what Mickey Loomis would do with these contracts, he'll sign a guy to a 2 or 3 year deal, have phantom years in there, And then the first year of the contract will be like 1 million, 1.2, 1.5, something like that. Then the next year, a balloon up to like 7, 8, maybe $10 million. Y'all know how it go. So we know they'll be able to afford players. Like they can get starters, at least 2 more people, or several more people. They can do the left guard position. They can find a veteran wide receiver. They can do stuff like that and fulfill and really load the team up with players with that type of using that philosophy. And Mickey Loomis is going, like I say, he's going to keep doing that until 2027 when all those contracts fall off the book. You'll get a ton of dead money. But in the end, I think that's what
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Thank you, Kai. Shout out to you. Vibing with the Johnsons. Appreciate you. So go get LSU's. Yeah, Braden Swinson. Yeah, from day 2 R3. Yes, indeed, fam. I'm for that. He's also there. Not day 1, but they are projecting Swinson to go somewhere between like 3 and 4 range, somewhere in there. That's what they're saying. We'll see how it all goes as well. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Shout out to y'all, bro. Peace. What's up, JT? Shout out to you, my man. Brother Hennessy, how you doing, brother? He says, what about edge rusher? Oh man, Justin Pierce, your boy from Tennessee, man. Yes, indeed, bro. That dude there, man. I talked about him before. I think that dude is that guy's awesome, bro. That dude's awesome. I mean, he has the size and everything. James Pierce, man. I mean, you know about Abdul Carter. We know about him. We know about Williams from Georgia. This is Scorton from Texas. A&M is another dude. They talk about Mike Green from Marshall. That's a dude that's going up the boards too. Mike Green from Marshall. Y'all might want to look into him. He's pretty good. JT from Ohio State. The other guy from Ohio State, the football player, that's another dude that's there that's pretty good. There are a bunch, like I said, man, there's plenty of them. Jack Sawyer, I think Sawyer is his name. But yeah, he's up there. James Pierce is up there, man. James Pierce is up there. James Pierce is serious, man. He's serious. But people have him they give James Pierce a first round grade. Like people believe James Pierce is going to be gone between the middle and the end of the first round. Like James Pierce is not going to be on that board. So I don't think the Saints, unless they're looking at, but Saints are going to use a draft the best player available type of philosophy, obviously, but they got more than enough money now and draft capital to be able to do whatever they need to do. Thank you, bro. What's up, Collinator? Shout out to you, Collinator. How you doing, my guy? Shout out to you, man. Good to see you, man. Hope everything's well. What's up, Jaden? Shout out to you, bro. Says, I have a question for you. Who do you think is worse at talking? Is worse at talking, Willie Green or pie hat dummy Mickey Loomis? Who's the worst between Willie Green and Mickey Loomis? I think Mickey Loomis is worse than Willie Green because Willie Green is just clueless. He's just Willie Green is out of his depth. I think Willie Green's a good person, but in terms of a head coach of a professional basketball team, no, man. Because you give a coach time, and this is Willie's 4th year, and I don't see any significant improvement from his coaching abilities. I really don't. Like you see it when Jamal Mosley from Orlando. You've seen it in year 3 with Jamal Mosley from Orlando, what he did. You've seen it with Charles Lee from the Hornets. You see it with some of these coaches. You even see it with Will Hardy from Utah. You see it with what's the guy name from OKC? Forgot the man from OK. He was a G League coach. And he comes in here and he got it right away. When you got it, baby. In the words of the great and awesome Reverend Saint. If you got it, baby. And Willie Green don't got it. he don't got it. When you don't got it, baby, you don't got it. And Willie Green just doesn't have it, bro. I'm sorry, he doesn't. But the answer would be obviously Mickey Loomis to me, because Mickey Loomis is the reason why all this is going on, man, for real. All right, Brother Wallace, shout out to you. Say, what's up, Q Cam? You do our new coach, Boris. Can you, Boris? Who's Boris? Who's Boris, bro? Can you imitate his voice? I don't know who's Boris. Who's Coach Boris, bro? Put that in the chat. Let me know who that is. I don't know who the hell that is, bro. All right. Byron says, yeah, Cam Scatterbull to be the guy get in round 2 or 3. It's once again, running backs are plenty. Like we talk about these players, man, it's about having a vision for what you can do for some of these players, fam. And I mean, obviously, Ashton Genty's probably not going to be there at 9. I anticipate him being gone before that. You never know. But guys like Omarion Hampton, we just did the breakdown on Patreon for our family members. We did the first mock draft and the running back breakdown available to our Patreon and our YouTube membership family. So y'all, if y'all didn't get a chance to check those out, did a really exclusive running back breakdown with video and all that attached to it, so y'all guys can see these guys that we talking about. But Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson from Iowa, Henderson from Ohio State, man, Judkins. Love Quinshawn Judkins from Ohio State. Love that guy, how he runs. Cam Scatterbo, Damian Martinez. Who else is there? We just did the breakdown. That's why some of these guys are fresh in my mind. Neil from Kansas State's another good one. Giddens from Kansas State. So you have Neil from Kansas and DJ Giddens from Kansas State. So you got Kansas and Kansas State. Neil's from Kansas. DJ Giddens is from Kansas State. But yeah, they have quite a few of them. They're really good running backs that's out there that you can. Smith from SMU. That's another dude that's good. There's quite a few of them, fam. There's quite a few of them that's actually out there if you're going to do the tape on them. A lot of good runners out there this year. So yeah, Scatterbo would be a dude. Listen. Cam Scatterbo on film, watching him, I just love that kid. Like every time he runs the ball, it's like the guy got a chip on his shoulder. Like he's the way he runs, the fact that he goes down, he's a what, 5'9", 5'10", 220 something pounds, but he runs angrily. He has speed and acceleration. He reads the room very well. You know, he makes these cuts and he runs with such ferocity. He catches the ball out the backfield, and he's a dual back that you can complement with anybody. But Scatterbo is the type of player you bring on your team. He's a winner. His motor's always on high. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. And I just love how that guy plays the game. I love watching film on Cam Scatterbo. And I think that he could be a second-round pickup for you. Got big play potential. Love how he plays the game, man. Loves his style of play. I just do. Love how he plays. A chip on his shoulder big time, man. All right. All right, big ups to you. What's up, Pelicanola? Says Q, have you been working on your Kellen Moore? Okay. I like, who the hell is Boris, man? No, man, I have not been working on my Kellen. Hell, I had just got a Rizzy down before he got up out of here. Y'all know I was working on Rizzy's voice for a while, man. Before I finally got it, huh? I got to hear him some more, man, before it clicked. Oh, no, I have not been working on this voice, man. But something tell me y'all gonna make sure I do. KT says, Q, look up Benjamin Morrison, 6'4", what it was, 6 foot, 190-pound cornerback from Notre Dame. I sent you his highlights. Okay, I'm gonna look him up, brother. If you send me his highlights, then we good to go, KT. Yeah, Ben Morrison. Yeah, yeah, from Notre Dame. I talked about him earlier in the show. Yeah, Ben Morrison. I think I did a breakdown with Ben. I think I did a breakdown about him before from Notre Dame. Yeah, I've heard of him before. KT, I'll watch out what you got though, bro. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, he's man, y'all. If y'all don't know who's for the Patreon, YouTube family members of the stream and the platform, y'all check out that video, that running back breakdown we just did. But yeah, Cam Scatterbo is one of those guys we talked about, but it got guys in there that's north-south downhill runners. There are scat backs. There are guys, it's a mixture of both. Henderson from Ohio State, we talk about Judkins, but Judkins and Henderson, you know, did like a combo thing at Ohio State. But, you know, Judkins was the power game, but really he's power and speed and violent. Like he can run around you or run through you. He catches the ball out the backfield very smooth. I like Omarion Hampton from North Carolina because he's big physical runner, 6 feet plus. He's like 220 pounds, NFL ready already. He can downhill runner, has a little wiggle to his game, does really well. We already know about Genti. Ain't no need to talk about him. We already know how elite he is. But there are other guys there that are really good as well based on what you're looking for. And I don't know if we could totally rely on Kendrick Miller at this point. He hadn't proven that yet. So yeah, y'all watch tape of Scatterbo. He just like lights you up like, man, that's what we talking about. That's what kind of runner you want. All right, Bobbin says, this draft is generational draft. I just hope we capitalize. Thank you.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this one.
All right, Bobbin with the Johnsons. Thank you, sir, for that, man. Much love to you, man. Appreciate that. Hope you and the fam are doing well, my friend. Yeah, it is. They got a lot of players in this draft. Like, it depends on your vision and, you picking these guys. But there are a lot of guys in this draft that can help. I know you hear that every year because every year is the truth. There are guys in this damn draft that if you're smart and you know what you're doing and they fit what you got going on, you can find your franchise quarterback in this draft. If you're smart, you can find the next heir apparent to Elvin Kamara. Not saying he'll be Elvin Kamara, but an apparent to it. You can find the next wide receiver in this draft, the pair of Chris Olave. You can find your next tight end in this draft. You can find offensive line help to build up your You can find defensive line help. You can find some solid linebackers here too. This is a good crop. They're not really a bunch of linebackers they're really talking about here in this draft. They're not out here running out here saying, hey, man, this, that, and the third. But there are a lot of linebackers in this draft that can help. Chris Paul Jr. from Ole Miss, Carter from Clemson, Munden from Georgia, another one, Campbell's another dude from Alabama. There's quite a few of those guys, man. Lindenberg is another dude that I like to talk about from Minnesota. I put him in my mock draft, man, looking at the tape on him. So they're not like, big, well-known names, but there's good talent out there, man. To be quite honest with you. J6Q, is one of your favorite songs about thank you very much. Is that one of your favorite songs? No, that's you talking about the Outkast, Andre 3000? Nah, it's just I was using the Jay-Z before. Like, thank you. Then the trouble happened with Jay-Z and I kind of switched it. I was using the thank you from Outkast before, Andre 3000 before. But it's just a good thing to kind of thank people for, donating the hard-earned cash to the platform. There's also one I had, man, that somebody had sent me. And I had to, throw something on top of this. This one right here was Samuel Jackson, which I found.
Get the money out! Stay cool! Nobody gets hurt! Take the money out! All of it! Come on! Wasting my time now! Come on! Come on! Stop stalling!
I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, Samuel Jackson said, take the money out. That's hilarious to me. I don't know why. Yeah, it's funny. All right, because that's one of my favorite movies of all time, Coming to America, man. That's hilarious to me, man. So I think that's what it is. All right, praise YJ says, who we getting at 9? I like Jackson Dart or Walter Nerlin. I don't know if Nolan goes at 9, bro. I don't know if Jackson Dart goes at 9. I know 2 of the other quarterbacks come off the board. A lot of people starting to say they believe that Shedeur will drop outside the top 10. I don't believe that. I think once Colorado has his pro day, that's going to put him back in the 5, man. It's just them jerking around with the rankings, right? They're ranking these players based on if they liking them. You see, let this be a case study and show y'all how these rankings go, that they're not official. How could it be official based on your likes? It's supposed to be judged based on the facts of how they're playing and whatnot. How is Shedeur Sanders dropping outside the top 10 in rankings to the 20th player there because he did not participate in the combine? You see what I'm saying? He has 4 years of tape. 4 years. 2 at Jackson State, 2 at Colorado of high production. There's plenty of film on him. And he still went there. He just did not throw and run. He talked to him and all that kind of stuff. So how does him not participating in the NFL Combine drop him all the way down there? That don't make any sense. But when the pro day happens at Colorado, watch how he go back up there. Because he's going to tear the pro day up. Y'all know that, right? Then he's going to go right back up there because it's all based on BS. A lot of it's based on them liking the player. And sometimes, too, if it's a Mel Kiper run poll, you pay the man to leapfrog you up there. Hey, Mel, how much is going to cost me to kind of get you to move my player up that board a little bit? And listen, it has been proven that if Mel Kiper is ranking your player high in some of his prospect lists, they're going to pay attention to it. And there is he got caught up in the scandal several years. I often talk about that he accepts money for elevating players up his draft listing. Come on, man. Mel Kiper, you can take Mel Kiper and put him in at the scene when you seen what's the man sitting up there when he was sitting up in the nightclub when they walked in and they was dapping everybody off and they was all dressed up and it was Henry with his woman and then Joe Pesci had his woman and he walked up in there and the guy brought him all the way up to the front of the club and they had Valentine singing on the stage and they sat down there in the front and he was tipping off everybody. He was tipping the weight off, putting money in his, shaking hands, meeting people, putting money in their hands, doing all that, paying people off slickly, slyly and slickly. And then they set up front. You could take Mel Kiper and put him behind them on that movie and not skip a beat. You really could, man. He fits right in there. He in the table behind them. Yeah, that's how they be running, man. They're like, man, ain't nobody gonna be fooling me. I know how this go, It ain't based on life. There's also money involved. You're getting paid to elevate players, man. You got to Google that. He got caught in a scandal. That was many years ago, man. I remember all that. What's up, Brother Dedrick? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. All right. All right. KT says, Q, the running back class is like shopping for a steak at a premier deli. Yes, indeed. Yeah, prime rib, filet mignon, T-bone, sirloin, Colby. Oh yeah, you KT, you're right. Like I was telling people, man, the running back, man, don't let them tell you nothing different, fam. You got superstar in Genty. You got players like I said, Omarion Hampton from North Carolina is the real deal. Johnson from Iowa is good. Henderson from Ohio State is good. Cam Scatterbolt in most drafts would be considered like a top 3 running back. He's like 4 or 5, French. He's in there. Depending, like it's so many different guys. Judkins is like pushed outside the top 5, but he's really man. He's phenomenal, man. And then you got smaller backs like Jordan James, the running back from Oregon. I had tape on Jordan James running around here. He was a 4.46, but he had all this production with Ohio. Then you have ETN from Georgia, who brother plays in the pros. He's there. DJ Giddens is another guy we talked about. It's a bunch of dudes. It's a bunch of guys that's out here that you can go into. Ollie Gordon II from Oklahoma State. He's another dude to talk about, man. We broke that down about him. What's the guy from Central Florida, Harvey? It's a bunch of guys out there, man, that people just they don't know. But indeed, man, shout out to you, KT. All right, yeah. He says look up Phil Mufa from Clemson, the running back. Hold on, let me look that up. KT, thank you, brother.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can find this running back right here, KT talking about. Oh, yeah, hold on. Yeah, 6'1", 230 from Clemson, Phil Maffa. Yeah, they got him listed all the way to the back of the rankings. Yeah, from Clemson. 6'1", 230, fam. How about that? He ran for 1,115 yards last year, 8 touchdowns with Clemson. The man averaged over 5 yards a carry. He's 6'1", 230 pounds. Guess what kind of running style he has? 216 carries, 5.2 yard average, 8 rushing touchdowns, 1,100 yards. And like I said, man, it's one of those things that, 4-year player too, a 4-year player. So yeah, thank you, KT, for that, man. That's another player, man, to kind of think about. Yeah, KT be on the game with them. All right. Best Wayne song? Wayne? John Wayne? Who you talking about? Colonnado? Who's best Wayne song? Vader says, KT, everybody's so stuck on Gentry because of the star power, but this draft is fully loaded if you pass on him just like it. Yes, indeed. You're right, bro. It's the same thing with the tight ends, bro. Tyler Warren is the best of the bunch, but he's not the only one. I mean, it is a bunch of, like I keep saying, fam, Tyler Warren is special, but there's other really good ones. Mason Taylor's out there. Arroyo from Miami is out there. The kid from Fannin Jr. I remember Fannin Jr. from Bowling Green. There you go, Bowling Green. He's there. Loveland from Michigan. Gunnar Helm is another dude. It's a bunch of them, fam. It's a bunch of really good tight ends out there, man, that can help you out too. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. It really depends. All right, so anyway, yeah, we got a bunch of stuff, man. What's up, Dedrick? All right, anyway, man, he says, old school players to new school fools. Y'all talking. Well, so this draft is all about finding the right fit. Talent is not bad at all. Indeed, bro. You got to have a vision for your players, or they'll end up like our guy Isaiah Foskey. They'll end up like our former linebacker, defensive end of Zach Bowen. They'll end up like what's his name that just left, the defensive Peyton Turner. You know, those type of guys. You don't have a vision for those guys. And Peyton Turner, in the 4 years he was here, the Saints gave up on him in the last year. They signed Chase Young. They just, fam, listen. The Saints gave up on him, man. They could have just traded him for all that. You know, we knew. I'm like, listen. And then, and another thing, please. When you know you giving up on a player, you don't have to tell a player that, but you can say, you know what, we're gonna have to move on from him. The trade deadline is coming up. We know we're gonna look at some of these players here that we are, we're not gonna sign this guy. Perhaps we can pilfer a pick or something from another team to get something for a former first round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Give me a 6th round, something like that for the guy. You're not gonna get anything for him. I mean, not for him in terms of draft capital, but I'm saying if he goes past the trade deadline and you don't sign him, you kind of miss out. So how about we just get something for the guy? You know what I'm saying? Before that, because we know we're not going to sign him. The moment the Saints signed Chase Young, I knew they were done. I told y'all that, and they done with Peyton Turner. He can do what Trey Hendrickson did in his last year and had 12 or 13. Man could have had 20 sacks. They'd be done with him. And that's the same thing. Davenport and both Peyton Turner were wasted first-round draft picks for the Saints. The Saints just gave up on drafting defensive end, say, hey, man, we're going to take Chase Young. Hope he stays healthy, and which he did, pay him, and then they paid the other man who was an undrafted defensive end who beat out Peyton Turner, who was a first-round pick and a second-round pick in Isaiah Foskey for the opportunity to be the defensive end for the Saints and collect a fat check. Carl beat out first-round draft picks and second-round picks for that position. Carl did. He was an undrafted guy. The story about Carl Granderson is so ridiculous, so awesome. And Carl came from Wyoming. He was undrafted, got into some trouble, got put in jail. The judge did something illegal. He got took out of jail. Saints still held on to him. He came here, been a model citizen, worked his way up to the starting position, earned his check, and Carl Granderson is now ain't your starting defensive end. He right now penciled in on the unofficial depth chart as your starting linebacker. One of your 2 outside linebackers, right? So his story is so phenomenal, but it's also a testament to the greatness of that undrafted guys versus the drafted guys. We are not hitting on those top picks like we should. And according to what they tell us, that's where the talent resides at. So if a guy busts, it's not always him. It's the team too, because they're not putting them in a position to win. We're not developing these people like we're supposed to be, and it shows when other people get our players and then they become world breakers like Zach Bowen or Trey Hendrickson or whoever else that's going to come aboard. It's very telling, but it is what it is. All right. Anyway, man, listen. Yeah. Carl Granderson is just on another level, man. But yeah, he's been phenomenal. But Chase Young, Carl Granderson, that's the future right now for the Saints. Cam's here for one more year. Brian Rasee, I'm anticipating him being a defensive end in that 3-4 look. That'll be awesome. Coach Bo will have to work with him on his run stuff, and like we talked about before. But outside of that, man, it's looking very interesting on this side of things, to be honest with you. All right, fam, listen, that's going to be it. Listen, I appreciate y'all for chiming in. We just hit our 2-minute mark with 4 minutes over it. Let me kind of go into our poll, man, and I'm just asking Who Dat Nation. The poll's up there. I appreciate all the people that participated in the poll, which is please grade the Saints off season so far, A, B, C, or D. Right now, the poll, 43% of the Who Dat Nation, we had over 160 people polled in the poll. 43% of the people have given the Saints, the mighty Who Dat Nation has spoken, a B grade so far in the offseason, a B grade. 34% have given them a C, 13% has given them an A, and 10% has given them a D or lower. So 43% of the family members said, hey, man, we're going to give them a B. That's good. You know, I just was wanting to know what y'all guys was thinking about that, and that's pretty cool to hear that all of you guys are saying, hey, man, listen, they're doing all right. Here's a B grade for you. So right now, so that's cool. All right, well, with that being said, family, that's going to be the end. Listen, I appreciate y'all for chiming in. Do me a service, hit the like button. Also, feel free to share the show as well. That helps out sharing the show on your social media feed or wherever you guys socialize. Also, check out our sponsors, Mint Mobile, T. Chinley, Bet Online. The link's in the description section below. WhoDatDaily.com. Our writers there do a really good job covering Saints, Pelicans, boxing, college football for us. Show them some support. And at the end of the day, man, we appreciate all that you do and how you do. And shout out to the Patreon YouTube membership family. Appreciate y'all for y'all great financial contributions. Also, remember, fam, like I said, there are 2 videos available. The running back breakdown is up, and the first mock draft breakdown is also up as well. Those are available to our Patreon and YouTube membership family. With that being said, I'm going to get out on that. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a very good rest of y'all weekend. And I'm going to come back to y'all on Monday and talk about it some more. Much love. Who Dat to you. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL. When things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to NHL and UFC. Bet Online continues to be your number one sports betting source for every three-pointer to hat trick. Bet Online has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. Bet Online, the game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. Remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.